cult classic horror film. Back in '87, Ruthie Mae McCoy dialed 911 to report that someone was trying to break into her Chicago apartment through the bathroom medicine cabinet.
Welcome back to CRIMETOBER. Tonight's story takes us to Chicago, Illinois. Now, this story is one that sounds just like an urban legend, one that you might watch or are afraid to even say. What if a killer came through your mirror and murdered you? Yes, it sounds very familiar and reminds you of the Candyman. This is the murder of Ruthie Mae McCoy. Ruthie Mae McCoy was 52 years old and she lived in what we call the projects on Chicago's west side. Now, Ruthie was known in her community as being very peaceful. She stayed to herself, but she was also very eccentric. Now, living in a community as such, it was kind of the thing that would be the ultimate fail for her: crumbling infrastructure, poverty, and crime. Now, on the night of April 22nd, 1987, police will receive a strange call around 8:45 p.m. The woman on the phone sounds very panicked, and what she says to the 911 operator honestly sound like a joke. So she says to the operator, they're coming in through a medicine cabinet, y'all. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Now, the person on the end of this call would actually be Ruthie Mae McCoy herself. But 911, not investigators, but 911 operators honestly thought that Ruthie was hallucinating and kind of losing her mind, because why would someone in a big rising apartment complex be coming through your mirror? That doesn't make any sense. But she was not lying. Now, in Chicago's public housing, a lot of the mirrors also faced another, like the person that you're living next door to's mirror. So it would be very easily to remove because it was a thin structure in between one another. Have y'all ever seen those? If you've seen Candyman, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Steve Bagheera wrote a story about a woman named Ruthie Mae who was killed after murderers climbed through her bathroom mirror. Now, the main question is, how do you get through someone's bathroom mirror? She lived in a project building in Chicago called Abbott Homes. The apartments were conjoined by medicine cabinets, and they had a space between them called a pipe chase. And this was done on purpose so that janitors could work on the plumbing for either apartment at the same time. Well, criminals found out that this glitch in the matrix was there, and you could take down one medicine cabinet for the other apartment at the same time, climb through, and assault your neighbor if that's what you intend to do.
Now, and that would ultimately be what happened to Ruthie Mae McCoy. The people that wanted to rob Ruthie took the cabinet off the wall and climbed through. They robbed her, and they unfortunately shot her about 4 times. Now, it would take about 2 days for people to realize that something was wrong due to a stench in the hallway. Now, when the neighbors reported it, police finally took it seriously, and they come and break into Ruthie Mae McCoy's apartment and find her on their bedroom floor, deceased due to being shot. She had been there nearly 2 whole days. And it would make you think, if 911 took it seriously instead of thinking that she was hallucinating or kind of losing her mind, what could have happened? In the aftermath, Chicago's public housing received a lot of scrutiny due to what had occurred to 52-year-old Ruthie Mae McCoy. Now, in the 1990s, this public housing building was actually demolished due to what occurred to Ruthie Mae McCoy and how they weren't keeping up the standard. Ruthie Mae's death inspired the well-known movie called Candyman, and don't say it 5 times. This movie, if you never watched it, is about a killer that comes through a mirror. You have to say his name about 5 times and he's gonna come through the mirror.
These buildings were architecturally sound, properly designed, then Ruthie Mae would still be alive right now. It was a sordid case, and it took a lot of digging. I mean, this film came out in 1992, we're 30 years beyond this, and we're still grappling with the fallout from this case.
But unlike the movie, Ruthie Mae McCoy was a real person that ended up dying due to the neglect from the public housing system, and how 911 honestly didn't believe her that someone was trying to break through her mirror. Like, she had extorted the calls, but nothing was done to help her, to take her serious. When I first seen this story pop up on Facebook, I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's so crazy how they took that and made a movie off of it. And of course, I think Candyman has about 3 movies with, oh my God, the favorite actor that unfortunately passed away. But it's a reminder that take people seriously the first time. If they are calling and saying that something's not right, 9 times out of 10, something ain't right. But that is the story of Ruthie Mae McCoy. She was a 52-year-old woman that lived in an apartment, well, public housing, but she deserved better. She deserved for someone to believe her that someone was trying to break through her home and rob her, which unfortunately did occur.